That's what I'm saying. It's Minnesota. They are cancer. It's the city. It's the organization.
Not Jimmy Butler.
It's the organization. They're not run well.
Okay.
Thibodeau is a coach.
Maybe, well, that too.
Whole, yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
Speaking of coaches, what a segue! There's been our first coaching change of the season, and I think this is a great time that we can talk about coaches that are on the hot seat in our second quarter to get us off that very controversial first quarter.
We gotta cool it down. Cool it down, fellas. Cool it down.
Can you lead us on this quarter?
Oh man, so Cavaliers are they fall to 0-6. Ty Lue's chilling on his day off, game planning for we're gonna go 1-6. Gets a call on his day off. Let go. Pink slip. He got fired
on your day off.
On his day off.
He got fired on your day off, Craig.
So wait a minute. You go to the NBA Finals.
Oh man.
4 years in a row.
You asking the money
and
question?
then your team goes 0-6, and you get fired?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
I mean,
it's just the first 6 games. They could win the next 20.
That's true. They
just went to the NBA Finals, right? Yeah. Tristan Thompson?
I know, right?
Doesn't the East still go through you, Tristan Thompson? Doesn't it go through you? How come your coach gets fired?
I don't know.
Are y'all really surprised about this, though?
Absolutely not, because he was never the coach. LeBron was the coach. This guy got stepped over.
Oh, man. Speaking of, somebody won Halloween, by the way. Somebody dressed up as Allen Iverson. And somebody else dressed up as Ty Lue.
No.
Halloween, yes. So,
man,
by the way,
that's cold.
Yeah. Oh, but anyways.
You could almost redo that with him and his coaching and have LeBron step over him.
You can go LeBron. You can go Steve Kerr. You can go...
But you know what was funny? Yeah. You know what was funny about this? Who was the old coach they had before Ty Lue when he took over? Yeah, David Blatt. And so, anyways, do you remember when they put in Ty Lue and they were like, "Oh man, he's young, he brings us energy," and they're talking about all these. I'm just saying these are things that they were saying.
What it was,
Doc Rivers prodigy, and so he's like, "Oh, he's been groomed." He LeBron was backing him 100%.
So what that was LeBron and David Blatt did not see eye to eye.
Right.
So LeBron was like, get this Ty Lue guy because he's going to listen to everything I say and I'm going to be the coach.
I'm just saying. So, but doesn't this tell you it's not just Ty Lue? Because I agree, Ty Lue's not a good coach. However, doesn't this tell you something about Dan Gilbert and who he is?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the worst human beings. That's a
Jimmy
person
Butler
that I wish would go to China.
Jimmy Butler level?
Oh, stop it. I can't believe you said that. Wait a minute. Let me tell you what you just did. Do you remember the Dan Gilbert letter?
Yes.
You're telling me that Jimmy Butler comes anywhere in that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I have a really bad impersonation. A really bad impression of Jimmy Butler.
Wow.
Okay, so hold on. Let's continue our show.
I gotta take a minute. Catch up, dog. Go ahead.
Okay, so Tyronn Lue gets fired.
Yeah, Larry Drew takes over.
Larry Drew takes over as the interim head coach, and what happened?
They won.
They won their first game. They put up some crazy numbers. Kevin Love is even out.
The Hawks.
Hawks.
Hey,
they won a game.
Okay.
They won a game. That's all. I mean, they won a game. And Kevin Love was out. So basically teams are on even playing fields, right? Mm. I mean, they won a game.
If you think Kevin Love is that guy.
No. Hey, why you keep looking at me? What?
If you think Kevin Love is that guy, like...
Okay, no. So here's the whole point of this.
I got you.
The following day, Larry Drew says that he's very disappointed. Quotes. Very disappointed that there's been no news as to if he's going to take over as the full-time head coach. He's very upset about that.
I wouldn't be because I wouldn't want to coach that team.
Okay, but
I get what you're saying.
If there are 30 positions and you have the shot at being one of them, obviously you would be a little upset about that.
I agree.
Right.
But Dan Gilbert, as terrible as a person as he is, says, hey, you're the interim head coach. You know what the word interim means?
Right.
You are the head coach until we find a full-time head coach. How are you going to come out like 2 days later and say you're very disappointed that the team hasn't let you know?
But I'm telling you, I think there's something underneath there. I think with Ty Lue's health problems, I think they were trying to groom somebody underneath Ty Lue just in case something were to happen.
But if it was supposed to be Larry Drew, then why Why don't they just say, okay, well, here's our plan. We have our plan ready.
Dan Gilbert. How else can I spell this out for you? Yeah. How else can I? The man is the lowest of the low. You cannot put Jimmy Butler anywhere around Dan Gilbert. He's the worst.
Can we trade him to Cleveland so that he can be irrelevant? We don't have to talk about him anymore.
Oh,
because then we can just put that whole Cleveland team like. Because Sacramento's like
here's a question though. What would Minnesota want from Cleveland? I mean, seriously.
Maybe they want Dan
Love.
Gilbert.
You can't put Kevin Love. You got Cats.
Maybe they want Dan Gilbert.
Man. Stop it. Oh, Lord.
I know.
Jeez.
Minnesota better take Houston's deal. Have they not taken that deal yet?
No, they have not. They have not.
I don't understand what the hold-up is.
What are you waiting on?
Tom Thibodeau is
we're totally
horrible. Anyway,
but you have to understand though that those picks are spread out over years, and so if you're not getting any picks in the next few years, you really got to be focused.
Yeah.
So, just saying.
It's Cavs. Cavs.
We don't talk about these teams often. We don't talk about these teams often.
Anyways, gotcha. I'm sorry.
So the coaching debacle. How does it wind up? Does Larry Drew wind up getting this job? Does Mike Brown get the call back?
I was like, who's Mike Brown? Oh, I'm tripping. For real, I forgot. I had a brain fart.
Like he did coach once upon a time.
Yeah,
oh man, that's cool.
My bad.
Does it wind up being somebody different? I mean, do we know?
Knowing Cleveland's track record, I would think Larry Drew is the interim for this guy for the year, and then get a new. If he can't handle it after two.
If he can't handle not having his contract restructured after 2 days,
yeah,
he's gonna do the rest of the season.
I mean,
they're 1-6. Is Cleveland gonna be the worst record in the NBA?
They just might Atlanta.
They're fighting for
Atlanta and Sacramento.
It's not Sacramento. Sacramento is like 5-3 right now.
It's 7 games.
I understand, but they're still playing.
They'll be 5 and 7.
Abnormally well.
Exactly.
Good math. So hey, let's chat about who else is on the chopping block for coaches. Since we're talking about coaches,
let's go.
What y'all think? Give me somebody. I got a little list there for you if you want to take a look. Go ahead, come on, give me one.
I don't agree that Luke Walton should be yet on the hot seat. I will say though, it is cooking.
His leash,
is getting shorter. It is cooking, which I will talk a little bit more later on in the show. But I agree that it's starting to cook. Yeah, for sure.
How long do you think until? Can you give me like just a games estimate? Just a games estimate until it's like, what are we doing?
I've said this before. 15 to 20 games, I think, is where they start to figure it out. Mm-hmm. If you're still going through this at 25 games,
what is their record? What should their record be to keep Luke Walton safe? I'm not asking anything else. I'm saying to keep Luke Walton safe at 25 games. What should their record be?
I would want them to be at least 500.
I think by that point, because right now they're through 7 games, 2-5, which obviously that still means there's 18 games left.
Right.
So it's a long way. But if you're 500 at that point, you're hanging right around the 8th seed in the West.
Right. Which is what I expected from them. Which is why I told them they're going to finish 6th.
So you think if they're 10-15, is he in trouble?
Depends on how we lose, which I will get into later.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Billy Donovan.
Okay. Yep.
He about to be gone.
Yeah, it was already like,
Yep.
Maybe he's better off, and they are
2-4.
2-4. Oh, I didn't know they won the second game.
Well,
but they've won 2 in a row.
Wait. The Westbrook injury really dug them deep. So let's just. I'm not a fan of Billy Donovan. I'm just saying let's give him that much. Just a little bit.
What are your expectations for the Thunder this year?
I mean, it's hard to say. I did put them making the playoffs. I think I put them as a 5. I just don't see them beating anybody 4 times in a series, though.
I agree.
In the West.
I
don't see it.
That has to be because of Billy Donovan.
He's definitely a major.
The talent is there. You have Russell Westbrook, who just won MVP a couple years ago. You have Paul George, who has been in the conversation of MVP several years in his career. You have Steven Adams, who is on the block, but he's playing well.
I mean, you looked at me. I was like, "Don't you say it?
He's such a mean pick."
Yeah.
He's playing well.
No, yeah, I agree.
He shoots the highest. I think last year or something, he shot the highest field goal percentage in the NBA. Or maybe that was in my league.
Russell taking
Wait, hold on.
maybe
that was in 2K when I was playing. I don't remember. Okay, all I know is I've seen Steven Adams have a very high field goal percentage. He doesn't have to be amazing. Right. Russell Westbrook and Paul George, who should be top 20 players in the NBA, both of them, right?
Schroeder. They got Schroeder now.
That should be able to win a playoff series.
I'm going to give Billy Donovan some more time, though. This is me personally, but do I agree that he probably go back to college? I mean,
his seat's warming up.
Yeah, it's different. His seat is warming up. Yeah. But it's not as hot as another guy at Iowa.
I've got one.
Yeah.
How about Scott Brooks? I'm talking about Scott Brooks in Washington.
That seat is hot.
It's hot.
That seat is hot.
Do we give him time to get Dwight integrated?
Nope, because Dwight Howard is, I'll say it, he's not a difference maker. So what big difference is Dwight Howard going to make? So
I disagree. I hopefully disagree. There's an asterisk on that.
Oh, what? What do you mean?
I'm hopeful that Dwight Howard can do something because I used to be a Dwight Howard appreciator. There we go. Not fan. Appreciator. My hope is that Dwight Howard can elevate them a little bit.
Wait, are you telling me Dwight Howard's going to be a difference maker for the?
I'm saying I hope he can help them a little bit.
No. Answer the question. Is he going to be a difference maker?
I'm hoping he can help them a little bit.
Is he going to be a difference maker? Yes or no?
I'm not talking like 50 games in a season.
How many did they win last year? I can't remember. Was it 40? It was 40 something. So they're not going to get to 50.
I don't think so.
Does he give them 45?
I just hope that he helps them be better. I mean, it's Dwight Howard.
He don't answer the question.
I just want to see him be good for once in his career.
He learned how to...
Stop it. We're not doing this again. Okay? But
play with magic,
I do think... I think that seat is extremely hot.
Yes.
John Wall, Bradley Beal, they finally have a big man to throw down to who can score. He's still a 15 and 12 kind of guy. Those are good numbers.
Gortat wasn't bad for him.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say.
It's an upgrade.
And then they had Nene. Did they have Nene at one point?
Dwight Howard is an upgrade from both of them.
You really think so?
I think so. I think so.
Now in his career?
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out Friday night.
I mean, I think he is better, but how much better? Yeah, I mean, Gortat had some nice passing skills.
Look. I know you've been saying it, but hey, if he learned all that stuff with other teams,
he learned to play with magic.
He learned some magic. Got stung by a hornet.
I'm over. Stop it! Leave him.
He learned how to fly with hawks.
I'm not gonna do this.
Lakers something.
I'm concerned about the Wizards because John Wall has played the exact same way. Mm-hmm. Where is there any improvement in his game?
No, there's not. He tried the whole cut his fro thing. Didn't work. Kyrie tried it.
Did it. He looked good. He looked good. He looked good.
But yeah, okay, sure. Who else? You got another name? Got another name? Got another name? You gonna call it your team?
It's not my team. It's not my team. But I will admit it. This is Mike D'Antoni at the Rockets, man.
That's why I wore the red.
Look, I get it. I get it.
How hot's that seat?
I think it has to be hot. I don't think Houston will fire him, but I think it really should be because I've said this before. I'll say it again. I don't think Mike D'Antoni is a good coach. I think he has a good system. I don't think he's a good coach. Like in-game adjustments, drawing things on the board, he's not good at that. He's great at going, okay, here's my system. Let's install it. And then after that, what can he do?
Mm-hmm. Your team's struggling and you're a little concerned, right?
Yes.
Your record is 2-5.
Yes.
Your team, how are you feeling about your team right now?
I'm honestly feeling optimistic because for one, we don't have everybody. We're 2-5.
So you don't have your best player, and you're 2-5. Right. Okay, I wasn't trying to get into the topic about the Mavericks. So calm down.
Well, not. I mean, because Harrison Barnes, this is
okay. Got you.
But I was saying Dirk.
I confirmed that fact.
I was just going to make sure. I was like, you telling me Dirk right now is your best player? I was like, oh, come on.
Fans,
Harrison Barnes.
And they agree with that.
Okay.
The Rockets are 1-5.
Yeah.
Like they've won one game. And even that they shouldn't have won. They won it to a team that didn't know what they were doing, especially at that time. That's only one game above.
Wait, hang on. Houston's playing good teams. They're not getting blown out by nobodies.
Do you want me to fact check that right now? Go ahead, keep talking. Keep talking.
Just like the. I mean, they are losing some games lately where they're getting beat up. But I mean, Portland, that's not a great team. You know, like say what you want to about the Clippers. Clippers are playing hard.
They lost by 20.
I know. James Harden was injured. What do you want? Like
Carmelo Anthony had 24 points.
Yeah, he had to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had to. Like,
no choice.
when you have no James Harden, like...
They lost twice to the Clippers in 5 days.
Yes.
Obviously,
but the other one was close. They lost the other one by 3.
The Pelicans are good. Well, Harden played. He had 31.
Yeah, but they lost that game by 3 points.
Okay, they still lost.
Okay.
They were 12 minutes away from going to the NBA Finals.
People win games, lose games. This happens during the year.
You shouldn't be losing to the Clippers
okay, fine.
twice.
So Boston lost a game. What, against
the Magic?
The Magic. Oh, the world's falling apart.
And we rebounded, and
Lord,
we've won every game since then.
Unbelievable.
I'm
7 games.
If I was Mike D'Antoni, I would try and get some cooling for my seat.
But it's not that what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned when I watch the game and I know he doesn't teach any defense, but my goodness, they are it is free roam to the rim. Right. Like if Capella's not in, especially, and the man can't play 48 minutes every night, like. You know?
All right. Is there one more coach who's seated? Well, you tell me, because it's just the list that I have. Is there another coach that comes to mind?
Go ahead, man. Do it.
Do we want to
go for it? Go for it. Do it, Jeremy.
No, I can't think.
Wow. Okay, I can think of one real quick. If you can't think of one. Okay. Tom Thibodeau.
I wanted you to.
His pants are melting.
No, I would. Go ahead.
He's starting to melt.
Yeah,
his seat is so hot.
Whoa.
But at the same time, is the owner going to do anything? When does the owner step in and say enough is enough? You're gone.
Minnesota Timberwolves, man.
It's Minnesota.
Yeah.
Awful. It's awful. Anyway, I want to move on from this.
Yes,
what? All of these coaching changes. We've seen Ty Lue get fired after 6 games. Yes. We've talked about 5 coaches that are potentially on the hot seat. We're only 7 games in. What is so different about Greg Popovich? Did you know? Here's a fact for you. That there have been 245 coaching changes in the NBA since Greg Popovich took over in December of 1996. That is insane. Now look. He came in with David Robinson there. The nicest all-star of all time.
Fair enough, yeah.
Then drafted Tim Duncan, the other nicest all-star of all time. Yeah. Okay, and then Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili.
Nah, I was good with you until say Manu. He ain't nice.
And then, I'm not talking about nice. I'm
just
talking
about
okay,
I got you.
Kawhi. And now he's turned, like, DeRozan is playing at a much higher level than he ever has.
7 games.
He's still playing at a much higher level.
I can't ever has?
He has. So far, he's been playing a whole lot better than he did in Toronto.
No, he had some hot games when he was in Toronto.
Absolutely.
Where him and Lowry were going off on people.
7 games in a row to start the season. His stats are higher than they've been. So what's going on? What is this Greg Popovich like? Why is his system worked so well? What thoughts do you guys have?
He's just a good teacher, though.
I mean,
he teaches basketball to people, so that way he knows how to develop these players.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, it's the best thing I can say, man. Is how do you hit on people like Mobley? I mean, it's not just him. I mean, he has great scouts. He has great assistant coaches. He hires some of the best assistant coaches because a lot of his coaches that are from his tree go on to these other teams, and they're like, man, where they come from? Spurs.
Yep.
So.
The other thing I think is he has a lot of say and a lot of trust in the front office.
Agreed.
Yep. Which a lot of people don't have. A lot of organizations, the owner is more involved.
Right.
So the owner will just be like Dan Gilbert. We talked about Dan Gilbert ruining the organization. But in San Antonio, Greg Popovich has all of and he always has. He's always had the trust of the front office. And obviously a guy named Tim Duncan helped out a whole lot over the 16, 17 years that Duncan was in.
I mean, it's all about Popovich.
Right, for sure. So Popovich is going to is 133 games away from passing Don Nelson for the most basketball wins of all time. In 2020, he's set to take over as the Olympic head coach, the U.S. Olympic head coach. Does he get those 133 wins in his career? To become
by 2020?
Well, by the time his career comes to a close. Because, he's 70 years old. 70.
Oh, I was like,
he's 70 years old. Is he going to hit the 133 wins?
I think he's got 4 more years. So if you're telling me in 4 more years, if they average, what?
40, 45 wins.
You know,
I think DeRozan has been, or the team in general has been showing that they're capable of, I think, getting to that 40, 45 win.
Yeah. You know, especially when, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but the man's wife passed away, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, this is what he has. This is what, you know, he's doing in life. The other thing I like about him, and I'm going to put a prediction up on the board. Did y'all know Becky Hammond is his assistant coach?
Yes, I do.
Mark my words, that's going to be the first female head coach in the NBA. One day.
I can't argue with that.
Mark my words.
What if she goes to Cleveland?
Set her up for failure.
I hope not.
Set her up for
I hope
failure.
not.
I wasn't trying to be like
No. Not to her.
We know what you're saying.
Okay.
No, not to her.
Hold on. What if she took over as the Thunder head coach? Upgrade? Or Washington's head coach?
That would be interesting.
Upgrade?
How would Westbrook
not the
handle
Thunder,
that?
not Wizards head coach.
No, definitely not Wizards. No, definitely not Wizards. No.
Set her up for the kill.
No,
that's a red flag.
Not in Chocolate City. No, that's bad. That's bad news.
Okay, no, keep going. Thunder.
On Washington. Thunder.
Yeah.
Between her and Westbrook, I
don't know.
What's Westbrook gonna say?
I don't know. I'm interested to see that dynamic whenever it actually happens, because I do agree. I think she will be the first female head coach.
She's good.
But it's just going to be that dynamic as to, you know, like how are the players going to gravitate towards her. And
will she just take over for Pop once he leaves?
I don't see it.
Because he's already in the system.
I guess that would be a good structure for her to be in. And of course, if there's ever, you know, some good players that could, you know, follow that model and follow the head coach. I mean, she demands attention. Yeah. Like, if you've seen her coach, like, players listen to her. They're following her, what she says. So, she knows what she's talking about.
Okay. What about Rick Pitino? You wanted to talk a little bit about Rick Pitino.
I only wanted to say about, because we were talking about coaches. Did y'all know Rick Pitino wants to come into the NBA? Like, I understand Rick Pitino was a great college coach. I mean, I'm talking about one of the all-time greats to ever coach the college game.
He apparently wasn't very observant of what was going on under him, but...
Right, because of all these scandals.
Right.
So, what I get upset about is he's continuously talking about this like he hasn't done anything wrong. And then he's talking about going to the NBA.
Well, the reports, I think, confirmed that he had no knowledge of it. I don't know how they came to those conclusions.
I hear you. I don't buy it. I don't buy squat.
All I know,
I don't buy it.
All I know is the reports that I've read that say and usually you don't hear reports that say that it was confirmed that he had no knowledge of it. I don't know how they come to that.
If a recruit comes to your town and you're telling me you're not going to know what they're going to be doing with that recruit all weekend.
I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, we're hosting this recruit Saturday night. I don't know what he's doing. You know.
So I was reading a little bit about Rick Pitino. He's studying the NBA this year with hopes of coming back into the NBA because he wants to develop young players. So he said that if a spot opened up with a young team, he would be very interested in it. So
would you trust him with young players?
Would you want him on the Lakers?
Hell no. I'm sorry. That was like the first thing. No, not anywhere close. Don't even come. You can watch Staples from all the way across on the traffic highway. Wow. Don't come anywhere near Staples. Don't step in the vicinity. I'm sorry. I can't. I cannot do it. And I understand we have great young players. I don't want him touching. I don't want him breathing on any of those players. That's how I feel about Rick Pitino. How you feel about Jeremy? That's how I feel about Rick Pitino. How you feel about Jimmy Butler? That's how I feel about Rick Pitino. No. How you feel about? That's how I feel about Rick Pitino.
And that's all we have to say about coaches in the NBA. Woo!
Say no more.
This show is spicy. Spicy
Yeah,
show.
I told you.
Speaking of, so Lamar's on his high right now. He's let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers in the third quarter. He had some concerns. Lamar, take it away.
All right. Look.